I am speaking to you across a couple of platforms. I am on Facebook here. I am on YouTube Live here. This is the first time I've been on YouTube Live. That's how old I am. I'm way, way, way behind the curve. And I don't usually look like this. It's frigging cold outside, but I want to be outside. I've been working in my house from the early hours of this morning, and I've yet to set foot outside, so I figured I'd come out and weather the storm, literally, and speak to you guys about a few things. One of those things I'd like to talk to you about is overtraining. Is it possible? It seems to be a common thread amongst forums and on social platforms, and it's something that is obviously real to some and not to others. It all is dependent on how you place overtraining, where it's come from, how it's if you compromised with it, or is it something that's just been unavoidable. So overtraining, how can you possibly find out if you are one of these individuals that's overtraining? So, some people train like every day of the week and they say they feel fine. However, when you look at their physiques, they look the same year after year. For the first 18 months or so, or a couple of years, and they make great progress. Pretty much anybody is going to make progress in the beginning. You start putting a new stress upon the body. It starts to adapt. It adapts by getting stronger, getting bigger, getting denser, and lo and behold, you get the evolution right before your eyes. But the body is very efficient, and it starts to adapt to that stress. So then you have to get creative in order to make that stress change into growth, into density, into speed, into power, etc., etc. These are the usual telltale signs that you could possibly be overtraining. One of them is lack of sleep. You're just not sleeping right. You're not getting a deep sleep. You're not progressing in the gym in regards to strength. Like your reps aren't going up, your weight isn't going up, and there's just a lack of progress, especially if you chart this within a training book, a training manual. I certainly had one for the first 10 years, I'd say, of myself training, just to make sure that I was making some type of progress. If it wasn't seen in the mirror, I at least had to have it in paper. And one of them is getting short-tempered. If you find all of a sudden you find that you are tired, you're short-tempered, you're grouchy, you're lethargic, and you're kind of dragging your feet, and it isn't generally sometimes people think, oh, it's my work day. Well, maybe, but sometimes it's your CNS failure, your central nervous system is just talking to you and telling you, hey, I got to take a day off. But especially guys, we're egotistical monsters, and we think, no, taking a day off is for pussies. I need to go back into the gym. I'm going to lose gains if I don't get in my workout. However, you'd be probably better off taking a day off and getting back in there. Now, the one thing that I noticed with the majority of people who state that they overtrain, they're not overtraining at all. Not in the slightest. They haven't even tapped into their potential of what the physical capabilities of the human body can do. A lot of the time it comes down to their lack of recovery, the lack of nutrition, the lack of supplementation. They just haven't got that down correct. They haven't got their timing correct. They haven't got the form, the source of the nutrients. My string is bothering somebody, so I better get this balance. Bodybuilding is all about symmetry after all, so hopefully my strings are symmetrical to you. So a lot of the time they're lacking, people follow the rep schemes, the amount of weight that they're pushing, the pre-workout that they can get in, the coffee, the caffeine, how many calories they can push into their body before the workouts, but nobody's really looking into the efficiency and how the body adapts by allowing it to recover. You should be thinking about your recovery process before you have even started your workout. And when I say thinking about your recovery, not only recovering from the workout that you're about to have, but recovering enough to ensure that the workout that you can have the following day is as if your body is completely fresh from a full, clean slate. So, when you go into the gym, the following day, you should almost feel like you've had a couple of days off. That's how recovered you should be. Number one is obviously going to come from your pre-workout and your intra-workout nutrition, ensuring that you're getting the branched chain amino acids within your body, making sure that you're having the citrulline within your system so you can transport the nutrients that you are feeding your body. And obviously immediately following your workout, not 30 minutes after, not an hour after, you should be having your protein isolate or hydrolyzed protein that isn't fucked up with chemicals or heat that destroys the structural integrity of the protein. You should be having that immediately following your workout. And then about an hour after that workout, you should be having your protein and your carbohydrates then in that meal. And I always suggest a very high BV, a high bioavailable food, such as fish and like quinoa or sweet potato, something light and something that doesn't cause inflammation, especially if you do have an intolerance such as gluten. And then eating within every 3 hours following then until bedtime. And when I say bedtime, eating pretty much immediately before bed. If you can't stomach food before bed, casein is obviously fine, like a micellar casein, cold micellar casein before bed. And then you start off the process again. As soon as you wake up, you don't go out and do fucking cardio, you don't go out and have a workout, you make sure that you eat or have your protein isolate immediately upon waking, because once you've slept, let's say for 6 to 8 hours possibly, you have been fasting. So you need to be eating as soon as you wake up to prevent that fast, to prevent any more catabolism, CNS failure, so you do not suffer the consequences of overtraining. When it comes to supplementation, as you guys know, I always like, especially on my non-training days, I look at the convenience factor of not having to try to remember when to take my glutamine, my BCAAs, my creatine HCl, or my hydrocharge, or anything like that. I will put it all in one of my gallon jugs. This isn't quite a gallon, but what I'd put in my gallon jug is, let me get it for you so you can see a visualization of it. I will put 4 scoops of hydrocharge in there. Remember, that is my hydrating drink, and it's my flavoring system that has my coconut water, my antioxidants that's beating down free radical damage, because remember, we build up free radical damage as we're training, as we're stressed, as we're at work, as we're living in a toxic environment. You want to beat down your free radical damage by staying extremely hydrated. Okay, so I'll use 4 scoops within a gallon. Then I will have my fermented glutamine. So when I say fermented, this is derived from a natural source. Those natural sources are generally like a corn, and then it's instantized with like a sunflower lecithin, as opposed to the majority of the glutamines or branched chain amino acids on the market that are synthesized from like pig skin or pig's hair and bird feathers and human hair. So I'll have 4 scoops of this within my gallon jug. Then I will have 3 scoops of my fermented branched chain amino acids. And then I will have 3 scoops of, or 3, yeah, sometimes 4, but mainly 3 scoops of my pure citrulline. And then, of course, I'll have my creatine HCl throughout the day as well. I've got the caps here, but generally I'll put the powder in. I did have the caps because I ran out of the powder. Speaking of which, we actually have a special on bodybuilding.com with the creatine HCl caps at the moment on bodybuilding.com. So I will take that throughout the day. So instead of me trying to think, okay, I got to remember, I've got a fucking busy day. As I said, this is the first time I've come outside today. So generally, I will drink this all day. So I'm kind of drip feeding my body in between meals, with meals, just to ensure that I'm in complete recovery the entire time. Now remember, nutrition and supplementation isn't just where that lies. It also comes down to how you handle stress. We live in a very stressful environment. We have family to take care of. We have nagging boyfriends or girlfriends or kids or bosses that we have to assimilate, articulate, however you want to put it, and kind of digest that the way that we want, and our perception may take that in. So obviously everyone's perception is different. My perception is much, much different than what it was a couple of years ago, and a couple of years before that. I've been able to handle stress so much better. I've practiced meditation. I ensure that I read. I ensure that I take a bath. I ensure that I take deeper breaths. I ensure that I study the law of attraction, I try to be a lot more present and be more appreciative. So I'm very appreciative that you guys would take the time out of your day to speak to me and give me comments, even if it is bloody hate mail, you know. But I'm appreciative of that, you know. I don't have to spend my time alone. You know, I've got a wonderful family. I enjoy the 4 seasons. I may be getting a bit bloody hippie, holistic and spiritual, however you want to put it, but I find that I'm able to handle my stress that much better. Obviously, I lead a much cleaner lifestyle than I used to, and when I say clean, it used to be clean, but I ensure that I try to eat organic, I drink filtered water, I make sure that I have my apple cider vinegar and my cleanse and my detox in the morning. And, you know, I just try to take everything into account when it comes to recovery. And now I've done so, I'm much more successful within my physique, the way that I think, and everything moving forward. Now, obviously, you know, I used to eat normal food before, but that was like turkey breasts, chicken breast, you know, steak or whatever, but now I eat organic whenever possible. Before I used to take, top selling supplementation, but now I ensure that I don't take a lot of the top sellers supplements because they're full of fucking heavy metal contaminants. They're full of cheap, generic ingredients. You know, there may not be third-party tested or BSCG certified, so I make sure that I have patented ingredients that are fermented, and as I said, not made from fucking human hair or pig's hair or anything like that, you know what I mean? So everything that I put into my body has to have a purpose. Just like when I go into the gym, I have to make sure that those reps count. I don't just count the reps. And now I'm going to start preparing for an Ironman as of next month. I'm going to make sure that I'm not putting in any fucking junk miles. I'm going to make sure that every single meter, mile, minute out there counts. Anyway, so that's my spiel to you. But one of the things, as I said, make sure that you do get your post-workout nutrition down. It's very easy for people to say, oh, it doesn't matter as long as you eat. No, bullshit, because as soon as you've put your body under an immense amount of stress, if you are training fucking hard, you now have to rebuild the damaged muscle fiber that you've produced within the gym. You know, all we do when we train is lose muscle. We are breaking down muscle tissue. So straight after my workout, obviously, is when I want to take recaged. Why would I take a protein concentrate? Why would I take a protein blend? I may as well eat food. Not that there's anything wrong with food, but that takes a while for it to digest and break down in my stomach in order for it to get absorbed. Well, fuck that. I need to start recovering right now. Why would I send an endurance runner in my 100-meter sprint? I wouldn't. That would be stupid. I want my 100-meter sprint or sprinter to cross that finish line first, so I can start my success all over again every single day. If you look at the top cyclists, people in the Tour de France, for instance, who absolutely destroy their bodies out on, you know, in the French mountains, you know, what do? As soon as they get over that finish line, they either get on their watt bike or they get on their turbo trainers, and this may be in a tent or wherever, and they start getting their nutrition in as soon as possible. Because why? They've got to get straight back out onto that mountain the following day and push with the same intensity, the same fresh legs as they did that particular day. It's no different for any other training, especially bodybuilding. Great advice. You inspired me to kick my training into full gear. I love recaged after my workout. Thank you very much, DC. Which is your favorite flavor? Do you prefer the strawberry lemonade or the orange cream? Sorry, I'm trying to answer questions both on the YouTube and the Facebook here. Hey, Kris, what greens do you have in the mornings? Could you share the brand? I take different brands, to be honest with you. There's a few different ones. Where can I get that Gasp KM hoodie you're wearing? Sorry, we don't sell them. The guys at Gasp are very good friends of mine, and they made it for me. I've known Michael and Greg over there for many, many years. Strawberry lemonade is your favorite, DC. That's awesome. Orange, says Shane. Yeah, orange cream is my favorite as well, actually. Orange cream is delicious. Wow, it looks like we're getting a landslide decision here. Starting your 8-week training on Monday. Can't wait. Thank you very much, Chad. Good luck. Strawberry lemonade is the top dog. Okay, we're going 50-50 on this fight. Sir, please can you send me a supplement for gain my weight? I can't afford the please, sir. What, you think I'm going to work my ass off every single day so I can just give away supplements? That's not really in my future. I do giveaways every now and again. I had to work my ass off to get every single thing that I afforded, that I could afford, so I'm afraid you're going to have to do the same. Nathan, orange cream, just got it today and it tastes great. Great natural flavor. Getting my crisp apple pre-caged tomorrow. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for your feedback. Guys, if you do have any feedback in regards to my products or the flavors or anything like that, I would love for you to go onto the bodybuilding.com product pages and give me your honest feedback so I can go in there and read it for detail, because that helps me improve and makes me feel pretty fucking good, to be honest with you. I held back from using your subs, but never again. So tasty and I get the best workouts. That's awesome, David. Great to hear that you are recognizing quality finally. Orange cream popsicle is amazing. Thank you, Scotty. Orange cream. It tastes like milk at the end of a bowl of Fruit Loops. Amazing. Thank you, Cody. I don't do Fruit Loops, so I don't know what that tastes like. Still haven't been able to get my casein pancakes to look like yours. Still delicious, though. Ends up looking like a crepe. Right, what are you doing? Are you putting egg whites in there as well? Maybe put some egg whites. Ilana, do you think I'm a moody bitch because of overtraining? Nah, bullshit. You're probably under-recovering, Ilana. You probably aren't eating enough quality food at the right times. Possibly. I'm just throwing that out there. Do you supply Dubai? Yes, we supply every single country around the world from KAGEDMUSCLE.com. I take Cage Muscle supplements. That's my brand of choice, the best. Thank you very much, Shelby. Your supplements are the best. Thanks for putting out a great product. Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate your feedback. Can I give my 15-year-old daughter HydroCharge during her softball season to keep her hydrated? Of course. I have my 3.5-year-old niece, Alice, well, she's nearly 3.5, drinking HydroCharge every single day, because the majority of people, I'd say probably about 95% of the population, do not drink enough water. Your body is made up of around 70 to 80% fluid, depending on that individual, and a lot of people aren't hydrated enough. You know, a lot of people complain and say they may have some problem, maybe a medical condition, because they're lacking in energy, and I ask them how much they're drinking, and when they tell me, I'm thinking, God, I'd be fucked too. I'd be, walking around on vapors. How many scoops can I take of casein protein? I usually take it one at night. Yeah, you can take 1.5 maybe. Now the thing with pre-caged and the thing with casein and recaged, a lot of people say, well, how many scoops? In all honesty, if you're taking a shitty inferior protein, then you may need to have several scoops, because your body's just not breaking it down. The efficiency of my products are that much higher, and I'm not saying that just to say, hey, mine's the fucking best. Look it up. Look at the science that backs it up, and take it, and you soon feel how light those products are and how much better you're able to recover. You don't need that much. It's all about quality. It's not fucking quantity, you know. Right, okay. Sorry, a lot of these questions are going way too fast. Romeo, will you be coming out with a carb powder anytime soon? Hell no, I don't take carb powders, and I don't suggest or recommend carb powders unless you're training for like 3 hours in a session. Never ever take carb powders. 4 weeks to shred for slim beginners? No, tried the muscle building program. Todd says crisp apple pre-caged is the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Going to put caged muscle tat. If you're going to do a tat, you have to show me that, buddy. That would be the biggest honor. What do you think about the keto diet? If you see my live feed that I put out there yesterday, you'll see exactly what I think of the keto diet and if it fits your macros. Are you still in Boise? Yes. Ordered orange cream and crisp apple today. Looking forward to getting it. Thank you, Michael. I'd love to hear your feedback. Finally, delivered, arrived today. First time user. I bought the whole store. Excited to become part of the grown consumers. Thank you, Nathan. I really appreciate that. I tell you what, it's fantastic because now Caged Muscle is, well, it is the fastest growing supplement line in history. And it's now currently number 5 on bodybuilding.com. A lot of companies will spend millions and millions in advertising and marketing dollars to get up to that. I haven't spent any money when it comes to that. It's all been because of you. It's you I have to thank. I don't have a marketing team. I employ probably full-time around 10 people. And you look at a lot of companies out there that they've got hundreds of employees. And, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of their products are shit. The reason being because they spend their money elsewhere, whether it be in marketing, expos, magazines, athletes, samples, whatever, and staff. And of course, yes, we need staff in order to grow, but I can't afford it because I work on such a small margin. Actually, not me, all of us. One of my business partners doesn't even take a wage. Because he believes in the long-term goal of this company, and that is to give you guys the absolute best there is. And now, because of our focus being dependent on the consumer and giving you more value than what you're paying, we are now number 5 in the world on bodybuilding.com, and that's all because of word of mouth and you guys recognizing quality over fucking marketing hype. So thank you. Robert says, I used Gym Line for a year, switched to Caged Muscle and won't ever go back. Looking forward to the new in-cage flavor. Thanks for all the products, Kris. Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate that. Chad says, can't expect anything but the best from you, brother. Always been an inspiration. I really appreciate those kind words. Can we train on an empty stomach for fat loss? No. Follow any of my programs and you will see I never suggest empty stomach. Is it okay to take clean burn if I'm trying to gain muscle with a 3,000 calorie diet? No, I'd probably suggest that you take our L-carnitine instead. I haven't added anything but water to the powder, mixed it, poured it into a pan. Makes me feel VIP when you read the comments out loud. Can't imagine why people would give their business and trust to any other professional. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Michael. Now, try whisking the eggs with it as well. Whisk it up. I was wondering, is the BCAA unflavored? I have a weird smell to it. Smells like Parmesan cheese. Is this normal? Okay, so I can guarantee you, Dylan Helmet, you have never, ever smelt or tasted an unflavored synthesized branched chain amino acid. Majority of the BCAAs on the market are from human hair or bird feathers. Our branched chain amino acid actually comes from like a corn extract. So you will notice ours still has a bit of a smell and a bit of an aftertaste, but we have removed around 75% of that because it's micro-encapsulated. This is the entire reason, or one of the reasons I should say. Whoops. Almost lost you there now, guys. Okay, almost lost you there, guys. Sorry. This is the entire reason why you should always use HydroCharge with your Caged Muscle BCAAs, with your Caged Muscle Glutamine, with your Caged Muscle Creatine HCl, that's if you're using a powder form, and your citrulline. This is your flavoring system. I don't like to, I give people the option whether they want to add their BCAAs to the Recage, to the casein, or whatever, but if you want to drink it as I do, I mix it with my HydroCharge. Okay, and that is naturally flavored and naturally colored. Right, okay. Make me a guinea pig for Hardcore Trainer 3. I'll fly out. Oh, what happened? It disappeared. Sorry, all these. I'll fly out. You train me on film. Show the world how to make me go from average to badass. Thank you, Joseph. I really, really appreciate that. In all honesty, and I'm not blowing up my own ass here. I get people offering me thousands of dollars to train them. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. If you may have heard, I used to train a lot of celebrities, and yeah, they paid well. But I prefer to do something that I really enjoy now, and that is to train people online or through my books or through my video series or on through my seminars. And obviously I have online training through KrisGethin.com, but I don't have time to do it every day now. You know, Caged Muscle does consume my day from not 9 till 5, but from the time that I wake up to the time that I go to bed. Here I am taking my break, and I'm talking to you guys, you know what I mean? Are you coming to visit Utah? No, I haven't been booked to come to Utah. Going to get a DEXA scan before and after the hardcore trainer, document the results. We'll keep you updated. Please do. That sounds awesome. HydroCharge might be my favorite product of yours simply because it helps me drink more water, and water is one of the biggest keys to a healthy life. Exactly. That's what my mum drinks, my dad drinks, like I said, my niece drinks. I can't remember the last time I drank normal water. What I actually did last night, if you guys haven't tried this at all, I've done this for the last 2 nights now. I've had fizzy water, so carbonated water, put some ice in that in a glass and added HydroCharge to that and stirred that. It was absolutely amazing. Absolutely awesome. So, you know, if you feel like you want a soda, you want a Diet Coke or something like that, don't fucking have that. Try that. You will absolutely love it. All right. I don't know if you can see the snow here, guys, but it's snowing out here. It's friggin' beautiful. I love it. That sounds awesome. I will try that. Please do. Let me know what you think. You mentioned possibly releasing a test booster a while back. When? Okay, guys, do you know what? I'm never, ever going to mention what supplements we are working on right now. Because I did tell people what we've been working on. However, people don't understand that it can take us a couple of years to release that product. That's if we release it at all. Because I will test it for a long time. If I'm not happy with it, if it's not showing the results that I want, if it isn't head and shoulders above what's out there, it's no point in me actually releasing it. So it takes me a long time to, you know, mix this ingredient with that one, try it in different circumstances, under different stresses, under different sort of programs, and then when I finally actually get the right one, then I send it over to our control group that, you know, are of different backgrounds, different ages and whatever, and once that is then approved, then we go into the production of actually making it. So this can take a couple of years. So when I do mention this, I get messages every single day. When's your test out? When's your multivitamin out? And I'm like, wow, it could be 2 years yet. So I'm having to answer that every single day. So I'm unfortunate to say, just keep following my socials, and I guarantee you will be the first to hear about it once we are about to release it, maybe a month in advance. Okay, so please be patient. Okay, anyway, guys, I'm going to have to go now. The snow is really, really coming down. Thank you very much for joining me, and have yourself a great weekend. And remember, it isn't all about overtraining. The chances are you're not putting in the right lifestyle, the right supplementation, and the right nutrition in order for you to recuperate and recover. All right, thank you very much, guys. Peace out.